Welcome back to Maintenance Made on a Budget. Today we're going to be trying to fix this Kenmore washer. Does your washer vibrate violently out of control during the spin cycle? Well, one of the issues could be the springs that hold this drum in place. As you can see, the drum's pretty sloppy. And you can actually hear water, so could be I know the drain cycle works pretty well. I don't know why sounds like there's a little bit of water still left in here, but we're at least going to get the springs replaced. So there's a couple ways you can do that. First of all, if you have a home warranty, you might want to check them first and see if they'll do it. Some home warranty plans will cover these types of things for you with a service fee of anywhere between $75 to $85. They'll come out and fix it. A lot of people have different opinions about home warranty plans. These are not covered, so we're going to fix it. So the first thing you got to do, obviously, is unplug the power source. So we'll do that. You can shut your water valves for hot and cold. These are closed already. And we're going to pull this out a little bit. This is a Kenmore. So the first thing you're going to want to do, if it's the spring, and like I said, this is with the drum during spin cycle, this thing will vibrate violently and scares the whole neighborhood. So we're going to replace these springs. These are the new springs, by the way. They look like this on this particular model. And you'll see here as I do it, but it basically has 4 that go around the drum. So we're going to replace them. Some different models or older models might have just one spring in the back of the drum. Either way, the spring needs to get replaced. So in this particular model, you have to unscrew. What you're going to need to do is remove this. This is the drum assembly. All of this is just the outside covering. So there's 2 ways to do it. Either it's going to come off here, or you're going to take the back piece off. So on this one, this lid will actually come up. So what all I got to do is bring this in the back. There's going to be a screw here and a screw there. And for this, and then there's a plate that goes here, which is this one. I've already removed it. Those come out, and you'll be able to. It's kind of a tight spot. Sorry for the. You're going to be able to pry this open. Some models you'll have to undo this piece where it'll have a screw maybe here, in like that one, for example, maybe. And then you'll have to have a spatula to kind of pry. You'll hear that click. There's 2 clips. This one also has it. See, and this, you'll unclip that and you'll unclip that, and it'll swing back. So I'll kind of show you. But what we're going to do right now is just do those 2 screws. Okay, so I removed the back 2 screws. And to get this to come loose, if you have this particular Kenmore, and if you want to know the part number for ordering parts, they're right here in the back. And you just type that part number in your Google, the name of the motor or the equipment, and you'll be able to find whatever part you need. You'll see that it has a little slot there and that little groove there. And as you can see, it's pointing that way. So the way I popped it open is I opened the lid and I grabbed it from here and I kind of pushed forward and pulled up at the same time, like that. And in fact, we'll close that, and you can just kind of set it back. Hopefully that lid doesn't fly open, as it probably will. So I'm going to set that up. I'll probably put a piece of tape to hold that lid, and then get set up for the next part. But that's how this lid comes open. And then the next step we're going to do is remove this ring. And then you can see there is the springs. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those, from what I've researched, apparently get out of tension. I don't know how old this washer is. I would say, I mean, it's only been in operation probably for about 3 or 4 years. So it seems like these springs wore out a little too fast. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the next step. Okay, so to remove these, you got 1, and then 2, and then 3, and 4. Forget what I said about this ring. This ring is part of the whole drum. So what we're going to have to do is you're going to have to pull this spring up, and all 4 are going to have to drop down the bottom. And then you'll put the new one in from the bottom. So you'll have to have this new one come down, as you'll see. You'll see how it comes out, but you'll definitely need two hands for this. Or my plan is I'm going to pull all the springs out and then lift the drum and then slide the new ones in from the bottom. So just to show you how that works, my assistant will pull up. Okay, you pull up like that, and this piece here will twist off. Okay, go ahead and then that'll just drop down, and then the spring will drop down through. I'm not sure if you can see that, how that's going to work exactly, but it'll drop down the bottom. So lift up on the drum a little bit. Lift up on the drum a little bit, please, and you'll see the play there. So now I've got to do this one and then the other 2. For the installation part, you have to tilt the drum, and this is why I need 2 people to help. You're going to push the new rods through the bottom. So from the bottom, you have to, you'll see here you got the 1, 2, and it's just a pain in the butt, and you need 2 people, but this is the bottom one. So what I did is, someone on the back tilts it up, and you slide the new one all the way through the hole, and then up on the top, my assistant would take the little hook and kind of just hook it on the top of the rim for now. So that's how you got to do all 4. All right, all 4, and this is the bottom of the washer. Okay, so we'll finish up and then we'll show you the top again. Okay, so I've got the 3 springs in. It was not easy. So what you do is, once you've got them up through the bottom, put the washer back on its feet, and then you're going to have to pull up on the drum to slide the springs through. So it comes with the new pieces here, and this spring is now sitting here. So what I'm going to do is, my helper will pull up on the drum, the spring will, here, maybe you can hold it for me. Okay, so what we're going to do now is basically pull up on that, and then as you can see, the spring comes through, and then it slides on that groove there, and then you got to twist it around so that the spring will actually, it'll come in like that, and then you just got to twist it around and let it sit like that. Okay, so all the springs are now back, and you can see how they sit. So you have to push the spring up, put the clip on, twist the clip so it holds it in place, and then it sits. I don't feel like it's any more tight than the other one was, but we'll see in the end how it handles the spin cycle. Anyway, that's how you do it. Then you just slide this back down. Now when you slide it up, these are the 2 back parts that you got to screw it back in. So you're actually going to pull this back up and then sit it back down. You'll have to sit it forward a little bit and slide it back so that this will latch back in to this groove here. And then I'll bolt the 2 screws back up. Okay, so before I put it all back, I just wanted to show one more time. If you have the type that you have to pull this back, for this model that I have, it's this screw and this screw, and then the whole thing, this whole top piece comes off. But if you remember the clips that I have on the front here, well, instead of that being there on some models, it might be underneath here. And so that's what I said, you'll have to use the, whoops, sorry. You'll have to use the spatula, and you just squish it in there, and you'll hear it latch. And when you click it, that'll pop out, and that side will pop out, and the whole thing will turn back like that. But on this particular model, you actually need to have the whole thing come off. Because on those models, if you don't have the lid, this will slide open, and the whole outside shell will slide out. And then the drum is exposed that way. So that's the difference. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and connect everything back. One quick note too, if you have these style water connections, it's just a quick turn up and turn off. Up, off, and then that way is open, whichever way. Or you might have their older models where you have to shut it all the way off. Okay, so after all that, now when you try to push it down, it's really tight. When you're pushing down, there's like no play at all now. Nice and tight suspension. And I know I mentioned earlier, like this is still going to have play in it because it's 4-spring suspension. So the whole drum itself is just hanging on the 4 springs. But in the beginning, if you push down, it was really like sloppy. And now when you push down, it's tight. So that should solve that erratic spinning. Little bit of sweat, little bit of hard work, and maybe help from an assistant. But save yourself quite a couple $100 on a new washer. The part was found on Amazon for about $30 for all 4 springs. So the last thing I'm going to do is actually throw a load in there, and I'm going to wait till it gets to the spin cycle, and I'll do my closing video on that just to show you that it does work and it doesn't eradicate, violently shake. Alright, that was it. So you can see now it doesn't vibrate violently. It's on spin cycle now. Yeah, before this thing would shake and tumble and crash into the wall and all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you're not afraid to get a little dirty and you got a helper, because this particular model is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but for basically $30 we got it fixed and we're able to use it again and saved us quite a bit of money. So I hope this video helps. Hopefully you can see if your model's not too different, the different ways of removing this to get to the drum. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And thanks for stopping by. For all of you who have subscribed, thank you. I will start to get busy again on the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Hope this video helps. Take care.